Hey guys, welcome to the Good Space. I feel like it has been way too long. Where do I begin? Growing can be so uncomfortable. I feel like I usually lead with some sort of introduction. I don't even feel like doing that today. Growing can be so uncomfortable. That has been what the theme of whenever I last recorded. Like that has been what I've been feeling. Um, I think I spent a lot of time thinking about starting to grow. Um, and I'm happy I did it that way because it allowed me to really think like, what does a healed version, a grown version of myself look like? It's almost like doing the theory first and then going in for the practical. And I did a lot of theory, and the practical is it's killing me. Um, I feel like it's so uncomfortable. It's relearning yourself, unlearning, realizing that you don't fit in spaces you used to fit, and that's okay, but it can be uncomfortable. Um, Obviously, therapy is uncomfortable, but there's like a new level of therapy when you're like, so there's the therapy when you're like, okay, I'm gonna start this journey, theory, right? When you're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna start this journey. I've got all these things that I know are wrong with me. And then there's therapy when it's like, oh, so the things that I thought were wrong with me that were causing all these things to happen are is small. The issue is much bigger. What I need to unlearn is much big. Oh, this is something else. This is ongoing. Okay, I'm scared. Um, so that is where I'm at right now. Growing can be so uncomfortable. I feel like it's as much as it's uncomfortable for me, I can imagine it's really uncomfortable for people around you as well because they see you a certain way, they've known you a certain way, they love you a certain way. Obviously, everything can be split. There are people that will love you a certain way because it's easier for them to handle, but there'll be people that love you a certain way because they just love you. They do. Through the mess, through the confusion, they love you. And maybe it's like, oh, okay, this person's changing. I still love them, but all this is all they're a bit rash. All this is, and I think that's okay. I think we can extend grace to people around us, like being happy for the journey, but still maybe not knowing how to navigate it because you yourself don't know how to navigate it. So I think it's okay for the people around you to be a bit confused about certain things, especially like when it comes to like setting boundaries. Yes, they're happy that you're learning to set boundaries, but maybe something that was so cool before is now no longer cool, and you've just realized that. So of course they're not automatically going to be like, oh no, I just know this thing is no longer cool. It might be like, oh, okay, this was cool before. Conversations will have to happen. um I'll say it one more time, guys, it can be so uncomfortable, but it's great. I have, yeah, I think since the last episodes of the Good Space, I have like a lot more going on. So it's sort of allowed, it's forced work to be done. Obviously, I'm getting married, which is great. I'm so happy. Um, but then my mind goes to, am I the best version of myself? Am I going to be the best wife? Like, and then it obviously, for me, because I know it's not the natural progression, but for me, it's like I start thinking about children. Am I going to be the best mother? So I think it's turned up the healing, the need to heal, the need to be great. But I'm smiling a lot more, which is great. What am I doing right now for my mental health? Journaling is a must, because there is so much going on. Finding that time to really unpack my thoughts has been essential. How has it only been 4 minutes? Surely I've been talking for like 20. Finding the time to journal every day, every morning, has been magnificent, magnificent. I was introduced to a book called The Artist Way by a church friend. And essentially, it's about healing your inner artistic child. Maybe you grew up in a house where you had so many creative feelings, but they were forced to be boxed in because you weren't supported or they laughed at you when you tried to do these things like that. It's about healing that person and finding her again or him again. And it there's multiple tasks, and one of them is journaling every morning, and it's sort of like free journaling where you just write what comes into your head, even if you're writing I am writing, until it turns into something. And it's messy, but it's really beautiful. So that's a form of journaling I'm doing. But I'm also reflective journaling, where I'm like, this is making me feel sad, this is making me feel bad. And I'm also manifesting, like, so much journaling, but it whichever works for you works for you, and they all have benefits, and they're all really good. Another thing on the Artist Way, it advises you to take weekly solo dates, creative ones. I've done one, guys. I took myself to the cinema. I've not been a good girl. I love the concept of it. Finding the time can be hard, a lot going on financially. I know there are ways to do it for free, so like museum, etc. um so it's just about planning my time better, but I'll keep you guys updated on how those are going. If I do a second and a third, I do hope to. Um, Leaning into God is definitely something I am doing even more so, um, because I think I struggled before, if I'm honest with you guys, to connect the two. It's kind of like I felt like, if I solely trust in God, how can I believe there's mental health issues? Because obviously God will take all that away. And I feel like there are some people that reinforce that. They're like, no, what do you mean you're anxious? Like, mm, I now stand in the opinion that I don't agree with that anymore. I get anxious about things. I have depressive episodes. These things happen, and I am managing them. But instead of managing them alone, I get help, whether that is therapy, journaling. But my main source of strength comes from the Lord. And just because I say my main source of strength comes from the Lord, doesn't mean I won't have times where I'm struggling. And when I do, I go to Him. And don't get twisted, there are days where it is almost immediate. I've lacked, I haven't prayed, I haven't spoken to him, I haven't read the word, I'm feeling in a rut, and then I get down on my knees, I pray, I read, I think. And there are times where it's immediate and I feel better. There are times where it's not. There are times when there's something I obviously need to grow through or notice or overcome or push myself through with his help before the feeling subsides. So they are absolutely connected. And that is my opinion. And that has been what is helping me. Like, I have these things and the Lord helps me get through it, and there's a reason. Um so lean into him. Oh, and there's this thing called trusting your gut. Everyone says it so casually, like it is simple. It's not easy. I Trusting yourself, like trusting your gut comes from trusting yourself. Trusting yourself is not easy. If you have, I guess, made a lot of mistakes in the past and have struggled to accept the fact that people make mistakes and learn from them, or you've been really, really berated for mistakes that you've made in the past, so you are scared to trust yourself because if you get it wrong, the backlash. So learning to be confident and trusting yourself is also a it's a process, and I'm learning that one. Oh, I am. And it's messy because it means like making trusting my gut and doing something mad and then it doesn't work, but not being like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. Yeah, so that's part of what I'm doing right now. I feel like starting is so crazy because I used to think like this healing journey thing was almost like people didn't know what I'm talking about. But it's been so nice, especially on TikTok, like talking about it. And people know what I'm healing. I'm going through this. I'm unlearning this. Because I think sometimes it doesn't translate into real life. Like, as I said before, I'm getting married and it's beautiful because I I get to like experience this with my fiance. But I think what I found hard is like how much people don't respect your decisions, respect your boundaries, and you sometimes try to vocalize, "Do you know, like I'm going through a healing journey right now and I'm setting boundaries," and someone will look at you like you've lost your damn mind. Like, okay. Right. And so it somehow feels like it doesn't translate in real life, but there's an online community that get it. But it has to go past that for me. It can't just be there's an online community that get it, but in real life, I can't speak about it. That's dead. So anyway, that is a rundown of where I am right now. I'm gonna say some my lessons learned. So I said it's hard to trust your gut, but I will also follow up with saying that that is really important. As in, I think once I've mastered that, a lot of things will fall into place because essentially it's you on this journey called life. It sounds cliche, but it is. Yes, you other people come with you, they're in and out, but it is always you. Alone at night thinking it is you and you alone in your brain. So you have to be proud of the choices that you make and they have to be yours. You can smile in people's faces so they feel good about choices you've made, but at night, when it's just you in your head, you have to be happy about the choices that you're making. Um, that's probably, I would say, my biggest lesson of this week is people pleasing is nice for the moment. People like you in that moment. But when you are in bed at night, when you close your eyes every day, can you sit and be like, I am proud and happy with the choices that I've made today? Even if they were not right in that moment, they were yours. They can be fixed. But if you're sitting there like, okay, well, I made this, well, this person's happy, but you're up stressed about it, bruh, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's not a way to live. Um, Everyone keeps talking about this. When you turn 30, you automatically start living your life for you. I don't know how much of that is true, and I guess in 2 years' time, I'm gonna tell y'all. But I don't know how much of that is true without work. Like, do you really just wake up at 30 and you say F this, or like do you start laying the groundwork, the theory first, and then at 30, do you know? Because there are people who are 60 who definitely still care what people think. So I don't know. I'm trying not to go by the age thing. I'm just trying to do the work. Just trying to do the work. Um, I yeah, I'll be back next week with an update anyway. I'll let you know if I've done the solo date, how my journaling's going, leaning into my gut, and what other lessons I'm learning. I might talk wedding stuff as well. I don't know if anybody cares. No, I'm joking. I don't care if you guys care or not. This is my journal that I share with people. No, I'm joking. But I might do that. I'm also going to have a collab episode coming up with my sister who has made a huge leap. You know, we're talking about trusting your gut. Trusting your gut is quitting your 9 to 5 because you know you're supposed to be a content creator and business owner, and you're like, well, I'm doing it. That is trusting your gut, and she's done that. And just to talk about mentally where she's at, what her plans are, etc. So that will be coming soon, and loads of other things. But I will be speaking more to my 5 subscribers because why not? Because why not? Um, I'm again in the art of like manifesting and speaking. I'm a podcaster. I podcast. I speak. So I will do that to one people. I will do that to 10,000 people. But I will talk. But I hope this has either been informative, relatable. I hope it's made you feel something. Um, Subscribe for more. Like, share, comment. Bye.